What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, last night, an exclusive broke late over at Deadline, where they went on to report, quote, after spending the past year terrifying audience and wowing critics, Pearl star Mia Goth looks ready to take her talents to the Marvel Cinematic Universe as sources tell Deadline she is set to join Mahershala Ali in Marvel Studios' Blade. They go on to report that Jan Demange is directing the pick, Michael Stansberry is writing the script, and Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige is producing, Ali to star in the titular role. Of course, Marvel could not be reached for comment, and plot details are unknown at this time as to who Goth will be playing. Well, thanks to our industry insider sources, we actually have a great idea of who Mia Goth is playing. We're going to talk about which character she is in Blade, how this ties directly to Dracula, and going past this film, how this looks even further to build out the Midnight Suns. We're breaking down the latest exclusive as it pertains to Blade and the brand new cast. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews to the occasional industry insider report and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway, which is right around the corner, less than a month away to coincide with Guardians of the Galaxy. Again, all you got to do, be a sub, leave a comment. If you want, stick around to the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so at least according to two industry insiders, one of which is My Time to Shine Hello, who already has quite a bit of a proven track record when it comes to updates about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, has said that Mia Goth is going to play the character of Lilith. Now, Lilith is actually two different characters in the Marvel comics. She first appeared in June 1974 in the Giant-Sized Chillers featuring The Curse of Dracula, where she is Dracula's daughter, and I think for the sake of Blade and making sense of the storyline, that's the most likely iteration we're going to see. But there is a second iteration of Lilith in Marvel Comics, which is known as the quote-unquote mother of all demons. She predates the universe, and I don't know how many times Marvel Comics and Marvel Cinematic Universe are going to say that someone was around at the dawn of time, but she appeared in Ghost Rider Volume 3, number 28. That was all the way in 1992, so we're talking almost a full 20 years later. It's also worth noting that that version of Lilith, the Mother of Demons, was the villain we most recently saw in the Midnight Suns game, and I think there's a really good chance that the MCU may do what they've always done and draw from multiple characters to build the Marvel Cinematic Universe version of the character, basically maybe roll these into one and the same, but at least for now, we're going to assume she's playing a vampire and the daughter of Dracula. It makes more sense for the storyline because she's actually analogous with Blade himself. So she's the offspring of Dracula but has no love for her father. Rather, she's the offspring of Dracula's first marriage in Marvel Comics and thus sent off as an orphan when he wants to remarry, and she's raised by gypsies. She has a power set that's similar to Blade's, and although she's a vampire, she's immune to sunlight, so basically a daywalker. She's not repelled by holy symbols or the normal stuff that vampires have to go through, and although she does drink blood, she does not have to rely on it for sustenance. Basically all the upside of being a vampire, none of the downside, and it is revealed later, as she is a nemesis of Dracula because of how he treated her, that she's unable to personally kill him because she is his direct offspring. But the idea of setting up vampires or vampires versus vampires in the MCU, the daughter of Dracula, and setting Dracula up as the main villain is pretty in line with what we had already heard of the script and where we think Dracula is going to end up lying in the MCU, and this sort of ties back to what we've already seen in Werewolf by Night when we were introduced to Elsa Bloodstone. That's basically the beginning of building out the Midnight Sun. So while Blade will be insular in setting up vampires, the monster side of the Marvel Universe has already been set in motion, and this is just looking to expand on that. That's why I think there's a really good shot that they may draw inspiration from Lilith the Demon, although again, these are two separate Liliths in the MCU, and eventually we see that iteration of the character either through Dracula's daughter. She had a possession in the comics that was a different character named Angel O'Hara, completely different storyline, or they'll introduce Lilith alongside some of the ancient demons like Sethun as they're bringing them into the MCU. She'll end up becoming the overarching villain for what happens with the Midnight Suns. Rest assured, they're not taking the time to introduce these characters now and build out a quote-unquote monster side of the MCU without eventually making good on it with a huge team up. And when I had a chance and an opportunity to interview Laura Donnelly back when Werewolf by Night was released, when I specifically asked her about what she would like to see in the future of the MCU and if she was going to be back, while she made sure to maintain that she didn't know anything, said that she was hoping the future of Elsa was with the Midnight Suns, as her heart has always been in the supernatural. And as I've said many times at the channel, building out the Midnight Suns is a great way to use characters like Punisher going forward, where a PG-13 rating maintains a lot easier when you're dumping clips and bullets into vampires and monsters instead of dumping clips and bullets into humans. And that's where I really think the future of a Punisher character lies, in this ultimate team-up and the supernatural in the MCU, which looks like they're pacing themselves in something we can expect to sort of mature past the end of the multiverse saga as we move into the mutant phase and something a lot more insular to just our plane of existence in the multiverse. They can really start to build out the supernatural side as well, which may be a side effect of whatever ends up happening with the sacred timeline or the timelines going past Secret Invasion's finish. The only other thing I'll mention is that Mia Goth has been primarily a horror actress. She's known for her horror chops in horror films, and I think this reveals at least about the brand new script that they're writing, that they want to make it dark and horror. I know that Mahershala Ali's main gripe with the original script, if you remember from the reports last year, was that there weren't enough action sequences, on top of it only being 90 pages, which by a lot of standards in Hollywood is a short script. On top of the action sequences having to match the energy and the flow of the very first couple of Blade films. I don't count Blade 3. Blade 1 and 2 are awesome though. It definitely seems like they're going for a slightly darker and more horror feel with vampires in this film now, which I am all for, because again, that's leaning into the horror and supernatural side of Midnight Suns, and perhaps they're looking to set that tone here as they're building on Werewolf by Night's quote-unquote horror tone. They really did strike a vibe there with Werewolf by Night. I count it as maybe my top 2 or 3 projects from Phase 4. I think you guys can agree. And so maybe looking to develop that even further into this Blade film is something that's going to help push it and give it its own unique place in the history of Blade films. Because while some of these movies in the MCU haven't had to live up to any sort of precursor and of any value. For instance, the Fantastic Four is going up against what I would call 2 less than Fantastic Four movies. If it's good, it's going to be the best one by default. They can't run out a B-grade Blade movie when you already have Blade 1 that exists and was made 20, 30 years ago. They have to come over the top. It has to be amazing. And I like this idea of making it part action, part horror, especially if now they've cast Mia Goth. But you guys, let me know all your thoughts down below. How hype are you for the Blade film if you're a Mia Goth fan, and what you ultimately want to see with this storyline in the Midnight Suns? I am all ears as always. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we are still giving away a PlayStation 5. The next milestone is Guardians of the Galaxy. It's less than a month away, and all the same rules will always apply for giveaways here at the channel. This is all you got to do. Be a subscriber, then leave a comment down below, because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here, always live with my voice and a comment shown on screen. So please be safe on my channel or anywhere on YouTube. Anybody can claim to be a content creator. Do not contact them on third-party apps, and of course, no YouTuber will ever ask you to pay for shipping. If you like today's video, the best way to keep up with the content is to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on, and of course I would appreciate it if you dropped a like. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to original music under the name Allfires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.